Hi everyone, my name is John Peveler. I'm the owner of Humane Innovations. Welcome back to video 3 in my series on community cats. Today we're going to be talking about transferring cats. So I'm back with Buttons, the stuffed cat. Again, I'll be doing demonstrations with the stuffed cat so that I can talk about it, manipulate it without any welfare concerns whatsoever, and then we'll do some live video stuff later. So first I'm going to talk through each and every item that's here, just in brief at least. So we've already talked about Humane live traps, so I've got that here. This again is the 36 by 10 by 12, which is my preference for most cat trapping. I've got a pair of Armor hand gloves, which I really like because they've got such good dexterity. They really offer a nice tight fit, at least for my size of hand. I've got a towel, ubiquitous for all cat care and handling. I've got two cat-sized trap dividers. So 2 is the correct number to have. You want to have at least 2 for your program. Really for every vehicle, every room that processes community cats have at least 2, if not more. It's one of the cheapest pieces of equipment in the entire cornucopia of stuff. Have a bunch. Have as many as you can afford. They're really easy to maintain. They will get bent over time, just getting dropped and stuff. Rebend them again. I've never replaced them except for any reason other than losing them. All right, and then over here I've got a standard transfer cage. And again, I'll be putting the links to everything in the description. YouTube doesn't believe in me enough yet to let me embed links in the videos, so sorry, you got to look at the description. And of course, Tomahawk, since they are sponsoring this, is happy to work you through an ordering process. So this is a standard transfer cage, and the purpose of the transfer cage really is to get the cat from the trap to the clinic or wherever the cat is being housed prior to surgery. This is really what we want in the field. Transfer cage is cheaper than the trap, and yet it's the same dimensions as the trap, or virtually identical. So very easy to transfer between these two things, which is what I'm going to demonstrate today. Much cheaper, but allows you to get, let's say you've got 10 cat traps. If you've got 5 transfer cages, again, much cheaper, than you've effectively got 15 traps, because you can trap in the field, quickly transfer, get the cat into the transfer cage, into your vehicle, or around the corner somewhere quiet as you're waiting the remainder of the trapping. So it really is a multiplier of traps, so you don't need as many traps. We go into a little bit more of like why this makes sense later maybe. First of all, let's trap our cat. So I'm just gonna cheat and get him through the back door. He loves my bait so much. He walked right in, and he's awesome. The first thing we're gonna do anytime we approach a trap with a live animal in it is we're gonna cover that. We're gonna make sure that we're quiet on approach. We don't need more than one person to approach a trap and cover it. We wanna use as little light as possible, red light, green light, something really, really minimal, and get that animal covered right away. Make sure that the cover that you use, which this one does not, goes all the way down to the ground and covers. What we're going to do now is transfer from the live trap to the transfer cage. And in order to do that, I'm going to use my Armor hand gloves. Now, a quick caveat real quick, it might be hard to open these clips with the glove on, so that's probably a part you would do without the glove. Otherwise, it just makes a ton of sense right now. This is the one part where we have some risk involved, where the cat could possibly get out or reach out and cause us some pain or some injury. And we talked about why it's so important that we maintain good safety standards, both for our benefit and for the cats. So now we're ready to transfer. And in order to do that, all we really need to do is open both doors. And we want to hold on to, especially the transfer cage. It's not as heavy as the trap, but a cat at this point, if they see an opportunity to escape, they may accelerate from the back of the trap and run straight through. You may not even have the door open yet, or you may get that door open, and they may now, what we call, rocket out. So they may rocket straight out of the back, and what they could do is hit the end of the cage and knock them sideways, or knock it sideways, and we don't want to do that. And that's one of the reasons we have gloves on, just in case something goes awry. Now, another workaround, I haven't done it really with cats, but with dogs, and it's well worth doing with cats if you're having an issue or if you're concerned. You can get some small carabiners, get 3 or 4, so that you can connect the 2 and then they can't escape. It really depends on your comfort level. It's not something I've done, again, with cats, but definitely with dogs. We're dealing with bigger dogs. So now we're ready for transfer. So I'm gonna move these guys. It's a little difficult on the table, a little easier on the ground. So right now what I have is a nice protected area for that cat to hunker down inside of. And in order to move this cat, again, this whole time in real world, I'm not talking. But now I'm eliminating the safe space over here, and ignore the fact that it's hanging off the table. Just a product of my small little table. What I'm going to do is now make a safe space over here. Notice that with my other hand, I'm still maintaining control of the doors and keeping the cages aligned. So cats will often move from a place that is scary to a place that feels nice and hidden, especially when it's clear that they have no option. So we sort of gave two choices. So right here, when I opened up this door, we gave this cat the option to seek escape, because this is the dark covered side. And if that cat did not do that, then now we're switching up the options, because this cat may be more likely to seek out a place that is covered and hidden. So really trying both. The same way that we try different types of baits when we're trapping, we try multiple things to move the cat, because we really don't want to have to touch that cat at all. I'm certainly not going to bang on the trap. You know, you might do a little something. I'm not going to stick anything in there and poke the cat. Really hurts me to see that. It's just not necessary. They'll often just move on their own. And if they don't, that's one of the things that the trap divider is for. This cat may just be hunkered down wherever. It may be hunkered down up against the door at the extreme end, because Buttons here is right here. All I'm going to do is isolate the cat at the closest possible point, and I'm going to go straight through so that the tines of the trap divider stick out all the way through. So let's say the cat still isn't moving. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to reach in and poke the cat. I'm actually going to put the trap divider as far down as I can. I'm going to push it into the first trap divider, and then I'm going to sweep. So I didn't poke the cat, I'm simply sweeping through, and this can be easier or more difficult depending on how heavy the cat is. Usually you're working down at this end. It's pretty rare for a cat to be locked down here. I'm just doing that because I'm on the table. It is more difficult to get the trap divider through the smaller openings. I'm not going to say whether it's possible or not until I try it. There we go. So I'm in. Again, I'm going through the first divider and I'm just sweeping the cat in. And usually at some point they're going to move themselves, but if they don't, you can keep moving those trap dividers as much as you need to until the cat is over. Because this is a stuffed cat, I'm going to call it good right here, even though the door is a little bit on the butt. Let's see. Maybe I won't. Let's just prove that no matter how reluctant the cat is, we can in fact get it in. Again, I'm pretty sure this is just a stuffed cat problem. Okay, so make sure that your doors are aligned, and we're going all the way down with that door. This particular cat's tail stuck out because it's stuffed. So I'm going to tuck the tail in. And again, that's why I have gloves though, because a tail could literally be sticking out and you can just reach in and push it with very low risk to yourself. So now I'm going to clip that on. Okay, so now I have my cat safely inside of my transfer cage. And now I can redeploy my trap. So I can get this trap right back into the field. So again, I could buy one transfer cage and one trap. And I believe those are actually sold as a set. And it's effectively buying two traps, because you can trap once, trap again, and you can take both cats. Now, we can also do this same thing with any other type of container. So now I'm going to show you that with an airline crate. Okay, now, so let's say that I don't have transfer cages. What I do have are a bunch of airline crates, because every cat comes into every shelter in an airline crate by some kind of airline magic. Many a shelter has a lot of these on hand, usually more than they need. So what I'm going to do is prep my airline crate. Of course, I'm starting off my process by covering my cat. Okay, so what I can't do is simply open the rear door and hope everything works out. So I need to make sure that there's some alignment here, but I have the option always of taking my trap divider. I'm going to make sure that you can see, so I'm going to push that right back. I can isolate the cat in the trap. So now I have a new wall, a new rear door, let's say, and I can pull this rear door out. Again, I can work this clip with the gloves on because they have a lot of dexterity. It's not necessarily easy. It's definitely easier to have no glove for that part, but glove up after that, especially when you're not using transfer cage and trap with 2 vertical doors. There's a lot more risk of losing a cat, or a cat getting a hand out, or paw out, I should say, when we have different types of doors. So now I can take a moment to line this up. I can take a towel, additional towel, whatever I need to do to make sure that those additional little openings are closed. So it really depends on what size of airline crate I have versus what trap. So they do not have to match up perfectly, as long as I fill any voids with some type of bedding material. So now I'm ready to transfer, and I can do this with a single towel. If this was somehow open more, I might want a second towel. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Say my cat is now in. Now I have the problem of the door on the crate is really difficult to close. I can't separate these two and leave the door wide open and let the cat escape. So what I'm going to do is very carefully, and this again is why it's so important to have gloves on, because I do have this big opening here. It is easy to lose control of that opening, and there is some risk. So what I'm going to do is slide my trap divider in. I'm going to start to close the door just a smidge, so that my trap divider is locked into my door. If you can see that right there, that trap divider goes all the way through, and as long as I'm holding the trap divider, this is effectively acting as a door. Now I don't want to sit in this position for very long and let the cat try to fight it. All I'm going to do is slowly pull the trap divider out and push the door at the same time, and as I do that, I can close the door, make sure that it's latched. And this is another point where, you know, if the door goes too far in, you got to reach your fingers in to pull that door out, and that's a common occurrence, and that's a great time to get yourself scratched or bitten. Towel can get caught in the door. That's why gloves are so important in this process. So now I have my cat all the way through, and I was able to do it with a different type of container.